Hi, everyone. This is Kate. Welcome back to another episode of the Omnichannel Marketer. I'm excited to have Namik Soltan on the show today. Namek is the founder and CEO of GNGR Labs, a modern approach to ancient remedies. Hey, Namek, how are you? It's great to have you.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. So Namek, why don't you start by, telling us a little bit more about your story and your background?
Sure, sounds good. So I come from a finance background. So I went to college, Baruch College here in New York City. While I was in college, so I started my first CPG brand. I had no idea what I was doing, so I had the idea. So I'm like, okay, let me try to do something. So I was trying to, tackle my school, my full-time job, and also my business. Obviously, that was a recipe for disaster, and the company folded. And then I decided that, maybe entrepreneurship not my thing. So I went back into finance. After graduating from college, I worked in different financial jobs. I tried accounting, finance. I interned on the Wall Street and just realized that that's definitely not my thing. So I went back into entrepreneurship and start working with different distributors. I work with the manufacturer, and I just realized that's like what I really want to be, because you can use your creativity, you can create products. And then I started another beverage brand, try it again. So that's also didn't work out, and essentially stumbled upon GNGR kind of from my own personal experience. And that's how our company were born. And it was my third company essentially. And it was successful. And, up to this point, we sold over 1.3 million shots in the past 2 years. So I would say it's a successful for me. So that's kind of like my quick story about me. Yeah.
I'd love to dive more into, what you've learned from those failed companies. But first, just for the listeners, tell us a little bit more about GNGR Labs and the product and company that you're running right now.
Sounds good. So the idea for my product came from my mom recipe. It's a ginger lemon honey paste that I use as a natural remedy against cold and flu. And when I started experimenting with the formula, I came up with a ginger turmeric shot format. It's a ginger, turmeric, lemon, cayenne pepper that I used as kind of like a booster. And also at the time I was working in New York City with the distributors, and I was mostly outside. So I would take the shot and it really would, make me feel great. And, I would come home, I would never really get sick. So I start sharing the shot with friends, and they're like, "Oh, can you make some more? Can you make some more?" So originally, I didn't really think about as like a business idea because I thought, there's so many products like that on the market. But then when I start diving into the category, I just realized that there's a kind of like a huge potential in this category, and it's kind of like a new. So, and then I just kind of start putting things together, doing some research, and that's how we started a company. So right now, our company have about our first product line. It's ginger shots. We have four different flavors. That's immunity, and then digestive shots. And we recently produced our new SKU. It's a vitamin C. So they designed to support immune and digestive health, essentially.
So, how have you started this business differently? And what did you learn from the, two failed businesses in the CPG category before this one?
I think the biggest lesson for me was when I started my first company. So I had an idea. I'm like, okay, I have this idea. I want to make this product. And before I even start selling this product, I start investing in packaging and equipment. I rented this commercial kitchen, and then I need to buy this special equipment to pack my product. And I think by the time this product hit the market, I already spent like $20,000. And my budget was like $35,000 altogether. That was like my life savings pretty much. And then when I start selling this product, I just realized that, this product doesn't really resonate with the consumers. And my packaging were kind of like small, and compared to like other products, it was like snack brand. And I just realized that, before you start the company, you really need to learn about the industry. Just kind of maybe spend $1,000 or $2,000, make a prototype, talk to your neighbor supermarket, just put this product on the shelves and see if there's actually, if this product is going to sell. I think that was the biggest lesson for me. And when I started GNGR, I spent a lot of time just learning about the industry, just trying to see if there's going to be a product market fit. I literally made like 40 shots at home, and then I spoke with a couple of my stores that I knew, and I put the product out there just for like a test market. And that's when I realized that, okay, so there is something in there. And, I start raising capital and just realized that, okay, so there's a market for that. It resonates with the consumers. So I think that's the biggest lesson. Just test the market, learn about the market first before you invest in packaging and website and do all this stuff.
Okay. That's a incredible learning. So test and learn first. Tell me a little bit more about, your current product. Where did you start selling first? It sounds like, your first 40 shots, you were just going to your neighborhood, kind of retail shops. Tell me a little bit more about your go-to-market there.
So when we were planning to start, so idea for the product that I thought, okay, so we're going to start a company was the summer of 2019. And then I start introducing this product to a few investors, and friend of mine, Ivan, he's my co-founder as well. So he was essentially a first investor who put the money in. So we start looking for the co-packers. So we start putting things together, and we're about to launch the product March 2020, obviously COVID. And it was like, okay, so what should we do next? There's like there's a lockdown, and I thought, this is actually a great time to start the company, because everyone needs like immunity. And I think that what we really did differently from all other brands out there, we created this medicinal look for our product that I think resonated with the consumers and just help us to stand out on the shelves. So we start working with the local co-packer, and we couldn't really get any distributor because like communication was like you can't even talk to anyone at the time. So we just decided to self-distribute product in New York. We had a couple of more friends who came on board who also invested in the company, and we just started hitting the streets of New York, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens. We had 3 sales reps, and I was a driver, so I would deliver these boxes to all the stores. And I think the great thing about that time, and I think a lot of other companies, beverage brands who started that time, they all went in direct to consumer, but we actually went on the street and started selling our product on the street. So there wasn't really much competition there. So we're able to build our stores. I think within the first like 3 months, we had already like 300 stores. And just start self-distributing first, and then we start working with a distributor, and obviously we moved all our operations there. And yeah, so now our product sold across 800 stores, including ShopRite, Walgreens. We recently launched with Balducci and King's Market. So yeah, we kind of staying regionally for now, up until we can secure more capital and kind of like expand.
That's amazing. So, okay, so you're in 800 stores regionally. Do you also have a direct to consumer site, and are you selling on Amazon as well?
Right. So, like I said, first we started just kind of direct to we started DSD, just working with the stores, and then we just naturally start selling on Amazon. We didn't really have like a great strategy at first. We just kind of create a listing and start, work trying Amazon, and it just kind of took off pretty quickly. We've been on Amazon about 16 months, and right now we are top selling ginger shot on Amazon. For the past 6 months, we had Amazon Choice Badge for the ginger shot and ginger turmeric shot. So I think like our first year, we did about 250,000 on Amazon. So, and sales keep going up and up, but we didn't really have that strategy that, oh, we're gonna go to direct to consumer, because I think I always felt like you meet your customers at the store because it's a ginger shot. People want to grab just one or two, but Amazon just kind of like we stumble upon it and it just worked for us.
Makes complete sense. So do you have your own website as well?
Yes, we do have a website. We also, sell through the website as well. I just customer who wants to come and purchase our product. But as of now, most of our orders it's all on Amazon, and we do have some sales as well on the website.
Cool. That makes sense. So, as an omni-channel brand, how do you think about bridging that relationship for your customers across all those different channels?
So like I said, I think but especially in the beverage or like food and beverage, I think it's very important to be in the stores. That's 100% because
Yeah.
I think during the COVID, there's a lot of brands went into direct to consumer. They were 100% direct to consumer, and I think that a lot of brands who started that way, right now have a trouble to get into the stores,
Yep.
and some of them completely went out of business. So we just, yeah, maybe it's just the luck or a lack of resources that we actually went that way. And I think it's very important to be in the stores. And I would say you have to be 70 to 80% on DSD on the stores and maybe like 30% on a direct to consumer. So I think Amazon, it's a great channel because a lot of people they go on Amazon to, it's kind of like a discovery channel in a way. So I think for the young brand, it's better to invest on Amazon than invest on your own website because, when you have your own website, no one's just gonna come and visit your website, right? So you have to drive traffic and it's very expensive. But on Amazon, it's a discovery channel, right? And then and it's easier for consumers to purchase on Amazon because they already have their credit card, they can read the reviews. So I think that's probably my advice for any brand that wants to start. I would recommend to go on Amazon.
That makes complete sense. You used a terminology called DSD. Could you just clarify what that means?
So that's a direct store delivery. That
Okay.
essentially when you work with a distributor and they deliver directly to the store.
Okay. Great. And how do you think about your end-to-end brand experience?
So that was your question at the beginning. So what we did a little bit differently. So my idea was with this brand, right? Kind of like we make that first aid kit that everyone has at home. When you have a headache or any minor alignments, you go and open up that medicinal box and then you take your Tylenol, whatever it is, right? So my idea was like, can we take this and instead of having those like synthetic drugs, can we have something that it's natural and it's like in your fridge? So I think that was kind of like our approach to kind of remake that, and we took that as a concept for our branding. And our mojo, it's a modern approach to entering remedies. Essentially, we take like all the ancient roots and that turmeric and ginger, and we put them in modern packaging. We use modern technologies, HPP, to preserve the product for like 3 months. So that's kind of was the whole idea.
Makes complete sense. And so going back to, your positioning as this, omni-channel brand, I know that you use QR codes on your products. What does the QR code serve to do for you? Oh, do you have a product right there?
Yeah, so this is our packaging, as you can see it, and we do have a QR code
Amazing. What is that? What does it
at
say?
the
What
front.
does the call to action say?
So right now we just have our tagline and our website, and also we have essentially Instagram, and then our shots also features QR code as well because I thought it might be just easier to for consumers, and I think also especially during COVID it just kind of became a thing, and I think it's much easier for consumer just to scan and just get all the information. They don't have to like type the website because no one really have a time to for that. Everything is just so fast. So I think that and that just essentially became kind of like a part of our identity, because we're also trying to create the modern look and modern brand as well. And like I said, our mojo is a modern approach to ends and remedies. So we want consumers to experience our product also as a modern, like a modern product as well. And I think that's also resonates with our design and packaging.
That makes complete sense and completely resonate with the seamless nature of the QR code. And the whole reason that we started Bridge was because of this new consumer behavior driven by the pandemic. So can completely understand why that's such an important part of your packaging and making it seamless for the customer. So what are you excited about for 2023?
2023, we are super excited to expand our footprint. We are currently fundraising our seed round. So we are planning to attend multiple food show and present our product. Like I mentioned before, we mostly work regionally for past 2 years, and we really want to expand and go to new territories. So I think that's kind of like our goal for 2023, and also continue to build direct to consumer as well. Because I think we didn't really spend much time on that before, and I think there's definitely some room to grow as well.
So, when you think about your expansion strategy in retail, why did you take the approach of expanding regionally first? Like, what was the strategy element there? Or were there any restrictions that, you needed certain licensing to be regional versus, kind of a more national approach?
I think it's more about, first of all, it's the resources, right? So we are a very small brand, and we started locally. We raised a small round with just family and friends, and that's one of the reason. But also, I think the second reason is just when you start a new brand, you cannot just go in the market and spend there like 3 months and everyone's gonna know you, right? So you have to really spend there a lot of time, 2 years, 3 years, and then after 3 years, you will just become part of the culture in a way. And then, for example, if you think about New York, it's more like there's a lot of independent stores. There's not really a lot of chains. So by having a lot of stores in New York, that you just become kind of like a part of the culture. But if you have like store here, store there, it just like no one really knows that you are a brand. So I think it's important just to spend your time in one territory, build your brand awareness, create create like following of your brand, and just continue to build velocity. And I think that's also important once when you start fundraising, is you can show the data, but if you spread out throughout the whole country, you have a couple of stores here, a couple of stores there, you don't really create, you're not going to be like a known brand. So I think it's very important for the small brand just to build in one territory, build a little bit of traction, and I think it's better to be number one in New York than number 55 throughout the whole country. So I think that's how I see it.
Makes complete sense. And what have been some of your strategies for driving retail velocity other than just, honestly having a great product?
I think that obviously I'm still in the process. I'm a young entrepreneur. I'm still learning about the industry. I think that by introducing new flavors, for example, our first two SKU were focused around immunity only, and we created our third SKU, which is digestive aid that made with probiotics and also ginger and turmeric. We just realized that there is and also our third SKU were less spicier than our previous shots, and we thought that there's a lot of people who might not want something like super spicy, and I think that by introducing new SKU, we kind of open up newer we open up kind of like a new customer base. And then obviously we start working on the fourth SKU, which is vitamin C. And I think that's also helped to drive velocity, like I said, because there's a different people, they all have different needs. And I think just by having different flavors, that also helps you to sell more. But also just by staying on the shelves. That's also another thing why we really focused on New York, because the more you stay on the shelves, the more customer are going to try your product, and eventually they're going to buy more because they're going to introduce to, like one person, they're going to tell another person about your product. So you're going to bring like more customer um, into your product.
Yep. Makes complete sense. So I know that you're, really passionate about health and wellness. Could you talk to me about why this is so important to you?
Right. So growing up, my family, they come from Azerbaijan, and it's a small country. And growing up, when I would have kind of like a small alignment, my mom, she would never give me like a medicine, right? So it was kind of like, use like a natural remedy. And I think that's kind of like were one of the reason why I started this company. I think that when you have some sort of like a small alignment, you shouldn't just go and try to use like synthetic drugs, right? And I think it's better to use something that it's more natural and it has similar effect, right? And I think that that's one of the things it kind of helped me to always be healthier person. I never really had any issues with like health issues, because I really um watch my diet. I don't eat kind of like bad stuff, right? And I think that's what I really want to share with other people. And I think there's especially moving into the United States, there's a lot of fast food. And when I first, I was in college, I was in a lot of fast food, and it really affect my digestive system. And I think that that's one of the reasons for GNGR, because when I start consuming ginger and turmeric, I just realized that it helps me to digest my food better. So I think just for me, I kind of like stumble upon this, and I really want to share this with as many people as possible. So I really passionate about that, and I kind of want to help other people to live healthier lifestyle.
So your tip for anyone that's looking to start to be healthier is naturally to try your product.
Yeah, just by having, even you can make this at home, right? Just ginger in general, right? It helps you to digest food. So if you want to have better like digestive system, not the digestive system, but to have better digestion, so you just need to eat like a small piece of ginger before your meal, and you will see it will naturally help you to digest the food. And then I personally don't eat red meat for the past almost 7 years, right? And sometimes from time to time, I like to grab some cheeseburger or something like that. When I go with a friend, I'm like, okay, I'll just have a piece. It's not like I'm restricted anyway. I just don't eat red meat because it takes 3 4 days for this food to process it, right? Especially for the red meat. And every time when I eat red meat, I right away I have some sort of like, you know, digestive problem. And then when I take ginger shot, it just helps me to kind of like digest this food faster. So I think that's just my recommendation. Just have like a small piece of ginger or turmeric before your meal. And then if you want something that it's faster, because shots, it's a liquid format, it will absorb much faster. So I think that's kind of like the whole idea for this product.
Great. Okay, Namek, we're moving into our lightning round. Favorite omni-channel brand?
My favorite brand is Harmless Harvest. I love the design and I love the product as well. It's a coconut water. It's a pink coconut water.
Thing you wish you can change about our industry?
I think that more access for smaller, younger brands. I think there is a lot of kind of like red tapes for the small brands to get in the retail. I also understand there's a lot of other brands who are trying to get in the retail, but
Mm-hmm.
I think just by having those like slotting fees, sometimes they go into 40 and 50 and $60,000, which is small brand can't even afford. So I think just having more access to retailers, and just give giving a chance to the smaller brands just to see this product is gonna sell or not. I think that I would really change that.
Favorite podcast?
My favorite podcast, it's Morning Brew. I like these guys. They talk about the business. They talk about the startups, and I love to learn about other people's stories, how they started this company, and yeah. So that's what I like.
Great. Favorite newsletter?
Same.
Okay, yeah.
Morning Brew.
Favorite social media channel?
It's called Company Man on the YouTube. It's short format videos about all kind of businesses, which is McDonald's and Burger King, how they started. So I was always curious how, all these companies started. And so, yeah, I kind of into that stuff.
Great. Favorite book?
My favorite book is Alchemist by Paulo Coelho.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Favorite event that you're planning on going to this year?
BevNet 2023 in New York.
Cool. And where can people connect with you?
I have Instagram and then also LinkedIn.
Okay, great. We'll put those in the notes. Namek, thank you so much. It was so great chatting with you and learning more about Ginger.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.